So it sounds like you went to school for industrial engineering. You started with the food truck, and then you kind of did you graduate or did you go?
No, I dropped out. I was in my second year and I dropped out. And I remember everybody told me, Ray, don't drop out, don't drop out.
Right.
And in my head, I was like, well, school's always going to be there. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
And I did it, man. And I never looked back. Like I said, making 60,000 a year doing something that I didn't really want to do.
Yeah.
And then I had the opportunity to do this food truck, which is great. I was working maybe 12, 15 hours a week. I was making about the same money and doing like enjoyably making the same money.
Right.
And then eventually it became putting the systems in, hiring employees, and then I was able to transition to something else to provide other income. So
Yeah.
I never look back at what would have been
Yeah.
versus where I am now.
Yeah. And whereas alternatively, you probably would have, right? If you were still doing engineering and, didn't have, didn't follow your passion.
Yeah,
So how did you spin that food truck into, the multiple restaurants and bars and
yeah,
tell us a little bit about how you were able to scale and progress in those early years.
yeah. So actually, it's pretty cool. The food truck was doing amazing. I mean, it started to like I guess compete with the brick and mortar businesses, and it kind of created a conflict between the brick and mortars. And I get it now, being a landlord. But it created a conflict for the brick and mortar businesses, and this thing it blew up. It kind of went like national
Hmm,
and even international.
dang.
We were featured on like the Ron Paul show. We were featured on several shows, um, and pretty much the thing was it was local government pushing out small business. And at that point, the food truck became kind of a hassle for me too, more regulation, and I actually had the opportunity to purchase my first bar. It was seller finance.
Oh wow.
Before I knew what seller finance was, it was seller finance,
Yeah.
and I purchased my first bar, zero money down. I think I paid about 250,000 for it. So it was at that time to me, it was like this is another opportunity.
Yeah.
And when I bought it, they were doing about $700 a day, and I took it to on a good day they made it. They may have done like $1,000, and I took it to about like a 2,000. So we pretty much doubled what they were doing consistently.
Okay.
And after that, it was my first like real money, first time seeing real money. And coming from where I came, I didn't want to spend real money. So I saved every dollar, guys. Like I didn't travel, I didn't do much. I might have traveled once every 6 months, and I saved every dollar. And then I continued to invest in other businesses. So the nightclub next door to it became available. Paid for the nightclub next door,
Hmm.
and then and this is all on the same street. And then across the street, a restaurant became available. I took the restaurant over, and before you know it, it was like Monopoly. Like I had all three, and I started to see like, man, I'm really making money through these businesses. It's amazing, and this is where real estate kind of took a play. Is that I was making money, but I was trading my time for money. And if you guys know the restaurant bar business, I was out every night.
Hmm.
So I was there physically. I had great systems, but I just wanted to be there. I felt like I had to be there. So I was there physically. And it cost me, time, relationships. It cost me a lot being there.
Right.
Um, and at that point, I knew like if I want to scale and I want my freedom, I'm gonna have to figure out another way to create income while I sleep because
Yeah.
being out every night till 5 o'clock just isn't a great lifestyle.
Right. And that was like your like 20s, right? Like you were in your 20s having multiple successful businesses, staying up late every night. Like that must have been a crazy time in your life for sure.
It was crazy. It was a party every night, man, and I wouldn't take it back, and I wouldn't change anything because it helped me again shape who I am today. Um, because here's the thing, like when it comes to like alcohol, people may not understand this, but when it comes to alcohol, my whole life I've had all you can drink pretty much. It feels like I can drink alcohol anytime. I just don't desire it
Right.
because I have access to it.
Right.
You know, so the access to party is just not it's not in me anymore. I'd rather focus on things that bring me more joy.